Last month, I had a presenter, Nate, who's sitting in the crowd this evening. You may remember him. I commented on how passionate he was about his recycling efforts. He said, "You want to see passion? We'll talk to my buddy Robin, because he's passion plus. Like I'm nothing compared to him." So this evening we have Robin, who is the furthest traveling presenter that I know of yet. Like, he came down 3 hours from Vermont this evening to present here to us. We have two travelers tonight. We're gaining momentum across New England. Robin is founder of WR3A, the World Reuse, Repair, and Recycling Association. It's a fair trade recycling group with members in 15 countries. WR3A seeks to reform recycling efforts by U.S. recyclers who meet face-to-face with overseas buyers and pledge not to send junk material as toxics along for the ride. So here's Robin for his presentation.
Hey, we do this every Saturday night in Vermont, except y'all are cows. But it's still a step up. I grew up in Arkansas, so I'm on my way. Providence next, Boston. I've been a recycler since high school in 1978. I got into philosophy, smoking pot in high school, and then I decided I wanted to travel, and so I got a degree in international relations, but I wanted to do something that mattered, and that meant for me the environment. So I've been trying to figure out a way to do environmentalism since way before anyone was talking about landfills. And where I landed was mining. This is a mine in Borneo, the OK Teddy mine. It dumps 90,000 tons per day of cyanide mine tailings in order to get copper out. And what these mines do is also open up the place to humans to get in there with species. The lowland gorilla population has fallen in exact decline to the increase in use of cell phones because they've got to mine the stuff from tantalum. The parrots are in trouble. And the reason why they have to go out to these places in the rainforest to dig the stuff up is we won't let them do it close to us, because this is mercury releases, where all the mercury, the most toxic thing, comes from. And in order to show how much comes from gold mining, you've got to do 2 slides. And it's because the mountains have stuff besides gold in it that all comes out, creating these toxics. And this is what we make. We make this stuff and we use it for 2 or 3 years and we throw it away. So I was at first, recycling paper and cans and plastic and stuff. But when this stuff came up, I was torn because on the one hand, I knew that you couldn't do just anything with it, but then I was also hearing these stories about Africans, and I lived in Africa for 3 years, and I know guys like this kid from Congo who found a job in Senegal. I saw these internet cafes. I knew there's a lot of good stuff that could be going on, but the images I kept seeing on the news, and 60 Minutes talked to me for 2 hours and still didn't get it. It was all this primitive wire breaking, fire, and it says we got to be very afraid, we've got to shred the stuff up. And so I was like figuring, how can this be true? How can a guy from Africa pay $7,000 to bring this stuff over there and then set it on fire? That makes no sense. But all around me I saw Americans, freaking out and they just opened this $28 million shredding equipment in Toronto last week. And this is what it makes. They call it copper-bearing material. Well, once you go over there like I did to China and Egypt and Malaysia and Singapore, and you see what's going on, they need the stuff really bad because people making $3,000 a year are getting online at 10 times the rate of wealthy countries. If they have to, they'll take 100,000 units, throw 30% out in order to get what they need. So Americans are shredding the stuff up because they've been told that these are all tar babies and people to be afraid of and primitives. But when you fly over there, which is what I started doing, you meet people like Yaji and you meet Mike and you meet Miss Danita. And these are the techs from Egypt who kicked ass last month. And we invited them, we formed WR3A to come and let people meet them. And Miss Fang from Malaysia, and Sarah from Ban, and Mr. Allen from Taiwan, and Hamdi from Egypt, and Colin from Middlebury College, and Oscar from Mexico, and Ferris from Thailand. And we started sending Americans over to visit them and film them and take pictures of what they're doing. And we meet people like Frederic Sanda, who came to my house and lived with me and my family for 6 months. He was the Attorney General of Burkina Faso. Miss Lydia, she lived in my house. Dominita, they just kept coming and coming, and my wife said, I've got to move, I'd take a year off. So that was my chance. You know, we had Hamdi come in, and we had this guy from Indonesia came, and then we started introducing the Mexican ladies to the guys from Egypt, and they were looking at him like this, and he was looking at him like that. Fortunately, Suleiman from Senegal, he spoke Spanish and Arabic, so he was able to translate. So I didn't have to learn either language. I got by with French. But the folks in Vermont, where I work, where I have my company, they're also like, what's going on here? You know, when they're starting to meet people who are human beings, working side by side with them, and then you get people like, you know, Mariano, who's earning $500 a month, fixing computers and putting them in schools in Mexico. And Miss Sylvia, you know, runs an internet cafe. And we just kept filming and bringing these people up. And the idea is still not out there. Still, you know, we're trying to overcome this image of primitive, wire-burning people. But, you know, when you get them up and actually meeting people, this year and last year, we're starting to have some press. We had NPR's Living on Earth come and spend a week with Las Chicas Bravas, which is the tough bitches. And that's their nickname in the town. And they've been up training and taking stuff apart. And we show the reporters, look, what I do in my factory up in Vermont, we remove the screws to make copper and plastic and glass and stuff. And you don't have to shred it. It actually comes out in bigger pieces. And you know what? You can send some of the working stuff over to Suleiman in Dakar and over to Hamdi in Egypt. And Hamdi's going to set off a revolution with it. And you don't send this junk stuff along for the ride. You don't mix it in and force them to take junk in order to get the stuff that they can't otherwise afford. And you do the right thing with the hazardous stuff. But when you get to reuse 30%, guess what? Fair trade makes it cheaper. Because instead of shredding up working stuff, you're able to actually sell like a $5 computer. So in the last couple of years, we just made the Women's Co-op in Mexico part of our company. They're now an official maquila. And they've opened up the local smelter to take the CRT glass. And we've had NPR Marketplace did an 8-minute interview just on Miss Vicky here, which was awesome. PBS came and did film, Living on Earth, AP, and we're still way behind this primitive image of wire-burning folks. But with Facebook and stuff, you know, the Egyptians are going to show you they're there.
You were right, Nate. I have nothing to say. You one-upped him, Robin. I have.
I'll take that mic.
Yes. All right.